Hi, this is Bruce with Big Fish Software, and I'd like to introduce you to Workouts app version 4.0. Lots of changes in this version, so I'm just going to take you through some simple videos that show you how to get started and some of the more advanced features. In this video, I'm just going to show you the basic features, how to create a workout, and how to get started quickly. So I have it installed here on my app or on my iPad. So I go in and open up workouts for some coach, and you notice a couple things. So it comes up initially with the workouts list, and you can switch over to a test set list, and I'll be going through test sets in a later video. You can select filters here. You can select what season you're working in, and if you open this up, you'll see that I don't have any specific seasons defined. And I'm going to show you how to get your season set up. You can also set up your groups, and here once again it's brand new installation. I don't have any groups set up, so we'll take you through that and then building the first workout. So let's go into settings, and we're going to set up our season first. So click on the seasons box here. You can see I have no seasons set up, and just click the little plus arrow, the plus sign up here. And we'll give our season a name. So this is going to be winter. What capitalize that? Winter 2013, 2014. And we're going to say that this season started on September 1st of 2013. So we'll save that. So you can see I have one season set up starting from September 1st. The reason we only put a start date in for a season is because we assume that one season will end when the next season starts. So if I'm going to add another season, which is going to be spring 2014, and maybe that's going to start on April 10th of 2014, we can save that. So now you see that our winter season is from September 2013 to April 2014, and then our spring season starts up at 2014. So seasons are, you just need to put the start date in, and it figures out what your end date is for your season. Next thing is we're gonna set up some groups, and so we're gonna click on the group box here, and you see that I have option of groups and subgroups. Because I had no subgroups set up on that other screen, on that main screen, it only showed me a list of the main groups that I have. And if you're only interested in defining groups, you won't have the extra prompts and selections for subgroups. So if you want to keep it simple, you might want to just add groups. So I'll take you through, and we'll just add a gold group. Anytime I'm adding things, if you see this TMID, that would be an identifier for Team Manager if you try to sync your workups back up to Team Manager workouts. But we can leave that blank because we're not going to be syncing our workouts. So I'm going to add, we're going to add the gold group, we're going to add the silver group, and we're going to add a bronze group. Save that. And just as an example, I will show you subgroups here. So I'll add an IM group as a subgroup, and we'll add a distance group. Okay, so each of our main groups can be further categorized by the subgroups. So you can have a gold distance group and a gold IM group, for example. So now that we have those things set up, we're ready to go back and create our first workout. So I just click the back button here, and now you see that I have the option of filtering based on the season that I just set up, or I could choose all seasons if I want to see all my workouts. But let's say I'm going to work with the winter 2013-2014 season. And if I click on groups, you can see that I'm filtering based on all groups and all subgroups. But if I wanted to see just the workouts that are in the gold that are categorized as gold distance, I can set that filter up as well. So let's create our first workout. We're going to create it for the gold distance group here, and we click on the plus sign up in the corner, and we get the add workout. And so with the workout, we can give it a name if we want, and that's optional. We don't need to have a name for or a title for our workout. And then you see the group will default to whatever you have selected back on the primary screen for your filter. So I had gold distance selected. It will create that group there. However, I can go in and change that if I want to. Once again, the TMID is if you link this back to Team Manager. You'll generally never set this unless you might see a value in here if you import your workout from Team Manager Workouts, but you rarely will set this value. And then the transition interval is basically when we run our workout, what the program will do for you is as you're setting up your workout, it will calculate how long your workout's going to take. And what the transition interval is kind of a fudge factor. It will automatically add extra time in between sets based on this transition interval. So if on average you spend 3 minutes, and I'm running on a simulator here, so it's a little bit touchier. So if I on average spend about 3 minutes in between sets discussing or talking to the swimmers about what the next set's going to be, I may want to put a transition interval in here of 3 minutes, and then it will automatically add that to the workout time. You can select the course, and actually these values you can set defaults back in the settings on whether it's short course yard. So if you're always long course meter, you can go to your settings and change the default so you don't have to worry about changing that every time. And then the workout will default to today's date, although I can change it. Let's say this is the workout that I ran on the first day of practice back in September, and September 2013. And you see at the bottom here, right below this little selector, you see what season it's in. So this would be spring 2014 season because I had the wrong date set up. But if I change that to 2013, you see that now this workout will be created in the winter 2013-2014 season. And then finally the time. So what time does my workout start? And this is a morning workout. We're going to start at 7 a.m. And one of the features of the program is it assumes that when you're creating workouts, you're going to have a consistent start time. So if you always are doing workouts that start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it will default to 5 o'clock. So the next work I create will default to 7 a.m. Just as a convenience feature. So I'm going to save this workout, and what that does is it brings us into the workout definition screens, and this is where I can add sets and all to my workout. Now, if as I'm working through this, I decide that my workout settings are wrong. I notice, oh, you know what? Although the season starts September 1st, our first workout isn't on Sunday. It's on Monday. So I'm going to go out and change. I'll just edit the settings here. Change my start date for this workout to September 2nd, and now I can see that it is a Monday workout, and at 7 a.m. Couple other things. It's in the gold distance group. Here's the date once again, and then as I'm building the workout, off to the right side here, it will show the yards and total minutes that this workout's going to take, and then also you see this transition time setting that we had for the workout itself. So let's create a quick workout here. So to create a workout, I'm going to add sets to it. So that's what the plus sign here is. I'm going to click on that, and I get a number of different options on the kinds of sets I can add. And I'm not going to go through each of these right now, but we'll have these in later videos. So I'm just going to add a simple, well, let's start by adding a label. So I can add a label, and I can classify the label as kind of a notes, descriptive kind of label, or I can specify it as a section heading, and I'm just going to call this label warm up. And we save that. You see my label now appears. And let's go in and let's add a set to our our warm up here. And so this we're going to start out with, we're just going to start out with a 500 free. And there we go. So we can set the 1/500. We give it a time. And you notice over here on the side that it gives you some pacing information. So if I was doing my 500 on the 130, my pace per 25 would be 4 seconds. So that might be a little unrealistic, especially for warm-ups. So let's change that to about an 8-minute 8-minute interval here. And now as you are 8:30, so now you see that the pace, the 25-yard pace, is now 25 seconds a 25. So that'll give you an indication of how fast the swimmers are going. Alternate set and an interval adjust, I'll talk about in another video, but some advanced features on how you can create sets. And then your sets have different categories, so you can set up strokes. You can say, well, this is freestyle, and you notice that all of these feature here, the stroke set. You see that I have a plus button, and it means I can go out and add my own stroke categories. And you can also access this from the settings menu. But you can add whatever you want, completely customizable. You can get rid of, if you don't like the strokes that we have set up in here already, you can delete those and add your own. It's completely up to you. Same thing with all these categories. So the work category, I just have kick, drill, swim. Then you can also have a modifier, if you want to do some kind of breathing set or whatever. And I just put a couple of examples in here to get you started, but as I say, completely customizable. You can put whatever you want in. Now all these things are optional, but at least one either category or a description has to be entered in order to save the set, because we don't want you just creating 1/500 on 8:30 and not having any other description about what it is you're trying to do. So you can either select some categories, which will build out the description, or you can type in a description and just say easy. So let me just pop down the energy option here also. So these energy fields you can change and put in your own energy system that you want to work with. So that's basically it. And once again, at the bottom we have the test set. So we could add or create this as a test set, and there'll be some additional features if you do that. We're not going to do that now. I'll cover that in another video. One thing is that you might like is that if this is a set you want to do a lot, you might want to add that to favorites. And what favorites are is an easy way. Once I have this set up, maybe I do this in my warm-up quite a bit. So I can go in, click Add to Favorites, and you notice now that I don't have any groups or favorites set up. So I'm just going to give it a group name of warm-up sets, and we'll save that. And now this set has been added to the warm-up set category, and I'll show you how you can see that. But it's very nice to be able to create these things, and then you don't have to enter them every time. You can just kind of pick and choose and build your workouts very quickly. The other feature we have on here is the percent of effort table. And that just gives you a grid that shows you, you know, if somebody does a 50 at 40 seconds race pace, if they're going 85%, that should be about 46 seconds. So this is just a reference kind of chart to help you build up your workouts. And let's save that. And now you see that we have our 500 freestyle swim on the 830. And this is easy. This is the description we put in. Now, anytime you put something in here, you can always go back and edit it by hitting the little eye icon over here. You can pull it up, change whatever you need. One note about that is that remember we did save this as a favorite, but if you make changes here, it's not going to affect your favorite. Your favorite is completely separate now, and changes will not be made to that. Let's add another quick set, and actually I'll show you how to add this back in as a favorite. So I click on the plus sign and you see the add favorite. I click on that and now you see my one favorite is my warm-up set for the 500 free. So I can select that. You see a little check mark over here, and then if I add selected, you'll see that now I have two items that are exactly the same. Oh, but that's silly. We don't want to do two 500s in a row like that. So I'm going to delete this. A couple ways I can do it is I can swipe from right to left, which will give me the delete box. The other option is down at the bottom of the screen, I have a reorder and delete mode. If I turn that on, now I can click on the little delete icon over here and choose delete. And the other thing that this does is it lets me change the order of sets around, and I can just click on the little bars on the right and reorder my sets as I see fit. So I'm just going to delete this, change it back to the regular mode here. And then let's add, we'll go through some of these other things or later in another video. Add circuit. You can add rest sets. Let's just add a rest set in here. So if I want to rest for 3:30, and we save that. So now you see I have a rest set in here. And let's just add one more, 1050s on the 130. Once again, if I try to save this without entering a description, it gives me a warning message. So I'm just going to say fast. So now you see 1050s on the 130 fast. So as I'm working on this, as I'm building up this workout, you'll see that it calculates the start time of the set, and once again this is using the transition time. So if you see, well, I don't have it in this example, it will add the transition time automatically in between sets. It does not add the transition time if you have a rest set defined, because that kind of overrides this artificial transition set by having a specific amount of rest. So that's why this starts at 7, 7:08, 7:12, because it's not adding that in. Now, if I were to go out and take out this rest set, you see that this starts at 7, but now instead of starting your this next set at 7:08 or 7:08:30 technically, it's now at 7:11 because it recalculates that, or it puts that transition set in there for you. And then at the very bottom you have a line that shows you when your workout would end based on the features that you have. One other thing real quick that might help you build sets a little bit quicker. If you select a row and you hit the plus button now, you have a copy selected option. So that will that will give you, that will make a quick copy of the selected item. So I can change that. Let's say I was doing 1050s on the 130, and then I want to do 1050s on the 115. All I have to do is change the 115 because I copied the selected. When I save that, now you see those sets. So just another quick thing that you only get if you have an item selected. Okay. Some of the other options on the ad that we'll go through in a later video: search workouts and add ladders and pyramids you can do very quickly. So we'll do that in another workout. So we're good. We have our workout defined. I can go back to the main screen, and now you see that in week 1 of this season, I have this goal distance workout defined, and it's 1,500 yards. It's going to take 42 minutes. So that's your workout, and that's getting going. And come back and watch some more videos. Thanks.